Welcome to the video. In this video, I'm going to be sharing a little recap of a very, very cool trip that I did just this past weekend, gone to Snowdonia National Park in Wales. This was a family trip and our mission was to summit Mount Snowdon. Mount Snowdon is the highest peak in England and Wales. It sits at 1,085 metres, so it comes in as the second highest peak within the UK, only to be beaten by Ben Nevis in Scotland. I have to be honest, I think I slightly underestimated the challenge that was involved here because I've recently done quite a bit of hiking in Madeira, if you've watched that video, and that was a pretty solid hike. And I didn't think that this one would be quite so hard, but turns out it well trumped it. And even a couple of days later, my legs are slightly feeling it. Nevertheless, it was a really, really awesome trip. We went with the family, so I didn't vlog the entire thing because I really wanted to just make some memories, have some fun and enjoy the trip. But of course, I took loads of photos and I did manage to capture some clips, which I was just reviewing last night. And I thought it'd be a shame not to share the beautiful scenery and the wonderful landscapes that was on our way up to the top and the peak. But as I was hiking it, and since I've hiked it probably more, I've really had some thoughts around this whole Instagram versus reality situation because it was so apparent on this hike. And you might have read a lot in the press about over tourism. I just had a few thoughts on it, so I thought I'd open up a bit of a discussion around it amongst fellow photographers. So if you do have any thoughts, please do drop them down below as you're watching this video. But I'm going to open this video now with some of these lovely scenes and some of the clips that I managed to capture along the way, just to get you in the vibes, and we will continue this discussion after that intro. So without further ado, here is Snowdonia National Park and the hike up to Mount Snowdon. For reference, if you've ever been there, we took the miners track up and the pig track back. So here we go. I hope you enjoyed those views as much as we enjoyed soaking them up. Now, you will have seen from my footage, hopefully, that I got some pretty nice clean shots, especially in the photos. I was either focusing on my family, the dogs, or purely the landscape that was in front of us. And it's always my aim, especially with photography, to try and capture those really nice clean shots and capture it how I'm kind of envisaging it and blocking out all of the distractions. Now, I hope this doesn't turn into a bit of a ramble because I'm finding it hard to structure my thoughts on this one. However, here we go. I'm going to give this an attempt. My thought is, should I be capturing it as I kind of want to see it and blocking out those distractions? Or perhaps is it more genuine to capture it with the absolute chaos that it really was? I have to be honest, the first couple of kilometres were absolutely stunning. We were going along this miners track and there wasn't too many people about, the odd person here and there, really serene and tranquil. However, as we got closer to the summit, there's various different routes and trails that all congregate together. They all sort of start funneling together to go up to the summit. And it got wildly busy. And at this point, you're starting to have to go down a really narrow track and you almost scrambling at points, made even harder by the volume of people because people are going up and down on the same track, which is absolutely fine. Of course, it's there for everyone to enjoy. It was a really busy week. It's the end of half term. Beautiful weather, and obviously everyone is out trying to enjoy the mountain, which is just great. But it was far from tranquil, and it did make the hiking a little bit more tricky. But what really blew my mind was when we got to the summit, you started seeing this queue of people, and we were wondering what it was, to be honest with you. Soon to realise it was actually a queue of probably at least 100 people, maybe 150. I don't know. I'm not very good at guesstimating numbers. Of people queuing up to get to the very, very peak. There was a little platform on the peak where people were taking photos. So there's a queue to take photos at the summit of Mount Snowdon. Now, of course, I get it. I'm as much of an Instagram sucker as everyone else, and it's where I do a huge amount of my research from. And of course, you want to get a really nice photo and show yourself on the summit, or take a picture up there on the summit and show you that you've achieved this rather challenging hike. But I just couldn't do it. We just couldn't do it. We just had to walk past it. And actually, if you looped around the back of the mountain, you got the most incredible view over the lakes, over the miles and miles of nothing. And the landscape was absolutely beautiful. And we managed to take a photo of there that was equally as good, but to be honest, better, because there was not all these hordes and hordes of people in it. And it just got me to like scratching my head, like, have we really fallen into this trap of like all taking exactly the same photo on the same spot? I'm as much of a victim of it, and I knew this was the case when we were in Madeira as well, although it wasn't quite as wild as this, I have to say. And it is very much an Instagram versus reality situation. And I have nothing against people doing it, by the way, just to premise that. But yeah, it really got me to thinking, like, is that the photo we want to get? Or maybe should we like try as photographers to look around and see what's around? I really tried hard not to just get sucked into that Instagram banger, if you like. And as I said, just wandering around the back, you could get some really nice shots. You could punch in on some of the details, just get your family shots, maybe somewhere else. I don't know. What are your thoughts on these kind of Instagram hotspot places? Because they are beautiful and you want to go and see them, but it does definitely detract a little bit. And I think potentially as things are getting more popular and are getting shared more and more and more, I guess they're more accessible, and they encourage people to go out there and do them, which is great. But of course, there is the other flip side to this, which is these places are getting crazy, crazy busy. And this isn't to detract from my experience, because I had the best time and got some really, really nice photos that I was happy with. Some of my best photos, I think, were from those early stages where there was not many people about and it wasn't the iconic spots as such, but they were just amazing reflections in the lakes, really wide, wide vistas. Did get some at the top as well. And of course, even though it was busy up there, I did manage to snap those iconic shots. I had to just work the scene and work the angles a little bit to try and grab a clean shot. But I just thought it would go amiss, not to mention the fact that if you just looked to the right of me very slightly, it was absolute carnage. So I hope this wasn't too much of a ramble, but I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on this. So drop them down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the scenes. And if you do get the chance, go to Snowdonia. You want to get there early to avoid some of the crowds. We definitely started a little bit earlier in the day, which was an absolute win. Be prepared. Take some snacks, take some water. It's quite the hike. But yeah, beautiful scenes. And Wales is a very, very nice place to go and take your camera. So I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.